All right, so I'm back again, and this time I'm here to review the Powerbeats Pros. Now, these headphones I got these back in October of 2019, so it's been about a year and a half since I got them, and I have quite a bit of experience with them. And so I thought I'd talk a little bit about what it is that I've learned about these headphones and how they are overall, and whether or not you should think about maybe getting these for yourselves if you're interested in wanting to get them. Now, one of the first things I want to talk about before I even get into the headphones, it would have to be the actual case itself. Now, this Powerbeats Pro case, like many people have already spoken about this, but the case itself is basically this clamshell kind of design. It's quite big, and one of the things about it is that because of its big, bulky size, it's not necessarily a great travel companion, I would say. Unless you're going to be putting this in some kind of like a big pocket of some kind, or a purse or a bag or even some like luggage. It isn't necessarily a great option when it comes to taking with you like out when you're out and about, because if you're wearing like a pair of jeans and you want to take your headphones with you, this can kind of get a little bit in the way. And so I don't know if I would suggest this case for people if they want to like travel with the Powerbeats Pros, but if you have no other option, then I would go with these, but then I would probably wear something that would be like make taking these with you a lot more of a viable option and not give you any sort of problems. Other than that, another problem that I've noticed with this case is that it's not necessarily the most easiest thing to want to open. Now you can see here when I bring this up to the camera that the grooves here on the Powerbeats case, they're not really all that deep, and so basically what you have to do is you have to grab it and kind of like put your thumbs on it like this and kind of like open it like that, and there's a little bit of like a snag there. It's kind of like magnetized, right? And so you kind of have to open it up like that, and the grip can be quite tough, and so dealing with that can make it a little bit hard, because when you're trying to open it, it can sort of like, it can hurt your nails, it can hurt your fingers, your fingertips here. And so it's just a little bit of a challenge, and it takes a bit of getting used to on like how to open and close the Powerbeats case. But I guess if you open it and close it enough times, maybe it like loosens up a little bit here in the mechanics, or like the hinge over here, it kind of like loosens up a bit and makes it so that's easier. But it does have a snap kind of like feature to it, and so it will kind of do that, right? It will just kind of like snap on you, and yeah, and it is a bit hard to open up. And so I kind of wish that they made it so that the groove was a little bit more noticeable, and so you could grab onto it more easily and open it more easily. But they decided to do that with the case, which is fine, I guess. But it's not perfect in my opinion, and aesthetically it does look good having a nice clean design like this. But like a better grip over here or something would have made them a little bit better in my opinion. Other than that, when it comes to charging them, there's like two little like you can see them on either side there, but there's two little metal prongs that kind of come out on each side, and that's kind of like where the Powerbeats Pros, as you can see here, they have on the bottom of them. They're meant to sort of like attach or like fit into the Powerbeats Pro case so that they're able to then charge. And sometimes when it comes to certain kinds of headphones, that either the case or the actual headphones themselves, that metal area can get damaged, and it can sort of lead to issues when it comes to charging. But in the 1.5 years that I've been using these headphones, I haven't noticed any issues in that respect. And so I would say that the design in that sense is really sturdy, and they're very durable, and they're long lasting. Overall, you know, when it comes to the actual, you know, the case as well as the headphones themselves, they are both very sturdy and durable. I really like the matte finish. The matte black finish especially, it looks really nice as compared to some of the other colors that are out there. There's many different colors. There's like an ivory, there's a blue, red, and I think they came up with new colors later on. But the black one is classic to me, and it looks really nice. It's not shiny. It's, you can, as you can see, it's just like matte. You know, it's got that one shiny bit where that button is, right? You can see the B, and that's the only shiny part to it really that's like stands out. But even that, like from a distance, nobody's going to be able to see that like little bit of glimmer there really. It's mainly just for people that are actually holding it up close. The solidity of it is really nice too. It's just like one solid piece, and all what do you call it, truly wireless headphones are going to be that way. But the Powerbeats Pros, they really feel premium, and they feel really like nice in the hands when you hold them, and you kind of like, you have to like take them off and put them on. It's just, in that sense, it may not seem like a big thing, but it's like it's nice to want to sort of play around with them in that way. The hooks themselves are also really nice as well. They're malleable. They're kind of like elastic in a way, but they're more, this area over here is a lot more like it's a little bit harder, and it's a bit tougher, and it's able to be manipulated. You can like move it around and cause it to, what do you call it, take the shape of your ear more effectively, so that it feels more comfortable on when you're wearing them. Speaking of comfort, initially when I got these, they were not the most comfortable right out of the box, because when you buy them right out of the box, the hooks are a little bit more, you know, they're a little bit more smaller, in the sense that they're more tighter, and so you have to sort of like play around with them. You have to manipulate the hooks a little bit in order to get them to open up. At least for me, because my ears are a little bit on the more larger side here, you can see. And so when I had to wear these, I had to open up the hooks a bit, and I had to play around with the angle of them a bit in that sense. And one of the mistakes that I made with these headphones is that normally when you buy headphones like these and you just kind of like take them and you put them on, like in this case, in my case, I would take them, put them on, and I would screw them on like this. And it seems like I'm wearing them properly, and that's correct in a sense. But for me, like, this is actually too tight. And so what I would have to do in order to get these headphones to be more comfortable would actually be to loosen them up to about this point. And so this may seem like it's actually not being worn properly, but for me, this is actually a lot more of a comfortable position as compared to wearing them like that. You know, this is like the way that they're supposed to be meant, but when I wear them this way, there's a part of the headphone right here, which is there's this like bulbous mass right here, not the ear tip, not the actual ear tip here, but there's this piece right in the middle, and that middle piece there, it kind of presses up against this part in your ear, and when it does that, it causes discomfort for me. And the tighter you wear them, like the way I was just showing you, the more you're going to have an issue when it comes to the comfortability of them not being, there's more of a chance of you experiencing discomfort, at least for me. And so what I have to do is I have to loosen them up a little bit on each side. But the thing about that is that when I wear them loose like that, they're really comfortable, and they're so comfortable, in fact, that I can wear them like this for a very prolonged period of time and not deal with any sort of issues as far as discomfort goes. And in fact, sometimes I'm wearing them like that, and I even forget that I'm wearing them because they're so comfortable. And as far as like listening to your surroundings when you're wearing these headphones, if you don't have anything playing on the headphones themselves, you don't really have an issue, or at least I don't have any issue when it comes to like hearing your surroundings. I can hear everything basically around me, and I don't have to deal with any sort of like, like I'm not like squinting, trying to like hear people or like taking them off necessarily, unless there's like a very, very minute kind of like very soft sound that needs to be heard. I don't really need to like take them off because for me, the volume, or my surroundings basically sound pretty much identical to just wearing them on versus taking them off. There's little change. As long as there's there's nothing, there's no music or there's no anything coming in from the headphones. If the headphones are off, then you won't have any issue that way. But if they're on, obviously, then you're going to be having more of a challenge as far as listening to your surroundings. Other than that, the actual buttons on the Beats are really nice, and I like the fact that they're identical. They're a mirror image of each other, and each of the headphones are basically just basically a copy of the other one, and so they're exactly identical. The only difference is that they're both like mirror images of each other. But when it comes to volume control, the rockers here, they're very easy to manipulate. You just increase the volume when you need to increase it. You decrease it when you need to decrease it. On either one of the headphones, you can pick and choose in that way. The button on the very side of it here, the beat button, I kind of call it. This is really great for pausing music, for taking calls and stuff, ending a call if you happen to get a phone call. If you're listening to any sort of like a YouTube video, or you can pause the video, you can play the video, but if you're listening to a playlist on YouTube, then usually when you double click it, you will be able to go to the next video. But in the case of YouTube videos with the Powerbeats Pros, I'm not able to skip to the next video in a playlist when I double tap it, and then when I triple tap it, I'm not able to go back to the previous video. And so that's one of the technical issues that I would have to mention with the Powerbeats Pros. But the thing about that is that skipping forward and moving back a video on YouTube in a playlist is sometimes it does work, and it works in at times when it doesn't really, like, it's hard to find out what the pattern is. And I'm going to be doing more research trying to figure that out. But like usually double clicking this and triple clicking this doesn't help me to, or doesn't do anything for skipping forward or skipping backward to the previous video. Usually they just don't work at all. And that's one of the things I wish that these had a functionality with, or at least a more consistent functionality. If they do work in that way, it's hard to figure out when they work and when they don't. I'm kind of like figuring out, when is it appropriate, or like when, like in what kind of a situation is it when the stars or the planets align that allows that to happen, or that allows that to work. Because usually it just does not work, but sometimes it does work, and that's the weird thing. And I kind of, I don't really know what the pattern is or what the reason is for why it is that it works and why it is that it doesn't work. Other than that, one of the problems that I had with these headphones when I got them, not immediately after I got them, but shortly after I got them, was that the left earphone, it stopped working on me for some reason. And when it stopped working, I went over to Apple and they helped me out. They were able to replace the left earphone. And then a little while afterwards, I had to replace the left earphone again because I was experiencing the exact same problem as I was before. The left earphone just stopped working for me, and it would just, it would be completely muted, and I would be left with nothing coming in from my left side, whereas only the audio would be coming in from my right side. And so I talked with Apple. I tried to get them to figure out what the problem was, but they just ended up replacing the earphone, and that worked out perfectly fine, because I have now, this is my third left earpiece here, and it works fine. I haven't had any issues with it yet, but I did have that issue with the left earpiece, and I don't know exactly what that was. Apart from that, another issue that I have with the Powerbeats Pros is that they tend to have a bit of a connectivity issue with the Bluetooth. When I may be watching a YouTube video, for example, and what'll happen is that I'll pause the YouTube video, and after I pause the YouTube video, I may switch tabs, I may do something else with another application, but like let's say like 10-20 seconds pass by and I go back to the YouTube video, and then I press either I click on the video or I press spacebar to play the video or something like that. But the video will play for like half a second or something, but there won't be any sort of like audio that accompanies the video itself. What'll happen is that the video will just play, and then the video will stop playing and it'll start to buffer or start to load or something. And when that is occurring, then usually what ends up happening is that the video will start to play again, but then the audio will simply just not be there. So there basically is no audio and it's just the video. And what I have to do in order to solve that problem is that I need to basically, I use a Lenovo X1 Carbon Gen 3, right? And so I have to go into the bottom right of my computer here, and I have to go to the Bluetooth and I have to turn that off. And then I turn that off, and then what'll happen is that I'll hear that the Powerbeats Pros, they're turning off. They'll usually make like a sound like dun 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 or something like that, right? And then I'll turn on the Bluetooth, and then the Powerbeats Pros, they'll basically make a sound, basically communicating that they're live and they're working, and it's going to be like a dun dun. And so I hear that sound, and then I'm like, okay, they're live now, they're working. And so I'll go back to the YouTube video, and then I'll press play, and I'll obviously, because the video has moved forward a little bit, I want to go back to where I initially paused it, and so I can hear where I left off. And so I'll rewind it a little bit, and then I'll press play, in which case the video will play with audio, but it may not always be that way. Sometimes the audio may still cut off, and then I'll have to go back and turn off the Bluetooth, turn it back on, go through the whole process again until it gets to a point where it's actually working and the Powerbeats Pros are actually like giving me audio as well as me being able to visually see the video. And so I'm not sure exactly why this problem, is a problem at all. I usually am sitting right by my computer, and my laptop is right there. And so it's not like the distance between me and, the paired device is like very far, right? If I was standing like far away from my computer and I was trying to do this, I would understand if there was more of an issue. But since I'm sitting right beside my laptop and my Powerbeats Pros are basically paired to my laptop, I expect there to be no issue that way. But the Bluetooth will not always work that way. And so for whatever reason, the connection will cut, and then I'll have to reestablish the connection. And, like with the wired headphones, you don't have to deal with that kind of an issue. But with truly wireless headphones or any sort of wireless headphone, you do have to deal with that. And it's a little bit annoying. You kind of have to go through the process every now and then, maybe several times in a day if you spend quite a bit of time at the computer, of turning off the Bluetooth, turning it back on, getting it paired properly, getting it to work properly. And if I didn't have to deal with that sort of a problem when it comes to these headphones, it would make having these headphones a lot easier. It would make truly wireless headphones like basically better in almost every single way as compared to like wired headphones. But because of the connectivity issues, that is just one of the like little negatives or the cons when it comes to having wireless headphones. And I wish it didn't have to be the case. I hope that one day at some point this issue can be resolved, but I don't know if I'm asking for too much there, or if it's actually a viable option that maybe Apple can one day remedy that and fix that problem. If not Apple, then whoever it is that can fix that problem for headphones in general, that would be really great. Other than that, I mean, the headphones are really great. I really like the hooks because I work out quite a bit, and so wearing these headphones, they're not going to fall off your ears. Many people have already said that, but it's true. You can jump around all you want, and even when I wear my headphones and I don't necessarily wear them all the way like that one would normally wear them, even wearing them looser like this, I'm still able to have these earphones not fall off my head. They are a little bit more unstable when you wear them like a little bit loose this way, but they're still very stable on the head, and I don't have any issues given the kind of workouts that I do. I'm not like doing I'm not doing any backflips, so I'm not doing anything like crazy like that. So for me, like I don't have to deal with anything too crazy. The only time I ever have to deal with these headphones falling off is usually when if I'm wearing a non-buttoned shirt that I have to sort of like take off and put on, and while I'm wearing these headphones, that may actually end up resulting in your headphones falling off your head. Because it'll actually the collar here will actually pull on the earphones as you're lifting off your shirt or something, or if you're putting them on, it might cause your earphones to fall off that way. But otherwise, it doesn't really give any sort of problem in that sense. Now, they are large, and so you don't necessarily have to worry about losing them because they do take up quite a bit of space. And so when they fall or something, you misplace them, they're kind of noticeable. They're not like huge, like the cases, for example, but they are pretty big. And so if you see them, they are noticeable. You can see them wherever they happen to be if you happen to misplace them. Other than that, the headphones are water resistant, and so they're not waterproof, but they are water resistant and they are easy to clean. You can sweat in these and you can just wipe away the sweat. You can clean them very easily. They do sometimes get oil on them because if you were wearing them for quite a bit of time, but they're very easy to clean. What I like to do is I usually like to take a sanitary wipe and just kind of like wipe down the hook and the whatever sort of component, especially the inner parts over here where you have where the part that fits into the ear. Other than that, the headphones themselves, the quality of the sound is really clear. The sound is very rich. These sound really amazing. And one of the things I would say about the sound is that they're not loud. They're not like really loud because they are wireless. And so I suppose one of the reasons why the maximum volume on these headphones is a lot lower than a wired headphone, like a Earbeats, for example, which I also had, is because that these headphones, they have batteries, and so you want to maximize the amount of time that you're able to listen when you're wearing these headphones. And if you have the volume obviously at a very high level, then you're going to be running through the battery a lot quicker. So that's why I suppose the maximum volume was lowered. But also, I think one of the reasons why they lowered the maximum volume is not as high on these headphones or any sort of like wireless headphone, I think, is because of the fact that the headphones nowadays, I think a lot of companies, a lot of brands are aware of the fact that loud music is just like not very good for the ears, and so they're trying to be more conscious as a business to want to make sure that their products that they're creating for their consumers is such that that they're not going to be it's going to be safer for people to wear, I suppose. And so that's why I suppose they lowered the maximum volume on these to help make it so that you're not accidentally listening to like really loud music and damaging your ears in the process, which I think is a good thing to want to do. But if you can increase the volume on these past the stock maximum volume, that would be really great, and I would like to learn how to do that. Obviously, that would be, I don't know if that would like void the warranty or anything. I don't think so, but like, being able to do like any sort of personal hack like that would be interesting and nice, because sometimes you do want to squeeze out a little bit more volume, but not really. I would say that for the most part, the maximum volume on these is really good, and you don't really want to listen to them louder than that. The bass is really nice. It's very rich and it's very clean, but it's like not overwhelming bass or bass. I'm not sure exactly which word to use sometimes, but the bass is not like, it's not too much, but it's still very, very much like a Beats by Dre product. So they are going to have bass. They are definitely going to have bass, but it's not going to be like too much overwhelming bass that's like overwhelms the sound, overwhelms the treble, the highs and the mids. It's actually quite balanced, I would say, in my opinion. And I don't have a lot of experience when it comes to headphones. I'm not like an audiophile kind of like crazy, person who like has lots of different kind of headphones and lots of experience. This is actually the best earphones that I've ever had, and so I can't really I don't know what it's like to have any sort of like more higher end headphone, but these ones I would say they're really good. You'll want to like listen to music, all your favorite music. If you've never had headphones this good, you'll want to experience all of that music again. You'll want to play all those YouTube videos or all those like tracks that you have on your iPhone or whatever. Listening to them, and hearing all the minute like details in the sound is it's really great, and you'll hear all kinds of things that you previously did not hear, because these are they're higher end headphones. They're not like $1,000 necessarily like that, but they are very, you will start to hear like different kinds of things in the music that you listen to. But with that being said, please like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to get notified whenever I upload a new video. And I'll see you in the next one. All right? Peace.